welcome to Speak for Yourself. Marcellus Wiley on this suit that's on its last legs like the Phoenix Suns. And you, undressed like the Phoenix Suns over there. What you got on it, man?
My dog, just because it's a vest and a tie don't mean it's half an outfit, okay?
Really?
Yeah, I got full takes, half a fit then.
Okay, we're going to see, because, boy, I am ready. And you already know where we're starting today. Clip City, Chip City. Yep, my Clippers had their backs against the wall. Against the wall? But they won Game 3 last night. Paul George brought out playoff heat with a game-high 27 points. On the other side, Chris Paul returned, but the backcourt with Devin Booker struggles. Shooting, watch this, y'all, 10 for 40 from the field. What the hell? After the game, Ty Lue talked about the message he gave PG after the tough loss in Game 2. Take a listen.
Just after the game, we landed. We got back home. First person I called was PG. I just told him, we wouldn't be in this position without you. So that game's over. It happens. Doesn't mean anything. He took care of their 2 games at home, and now we got to go home and win our 2 games. That's the most important thing. So can't look in the past. We got to look ahead. And I called him. I called Pat Beverly. I called a few of the guys and just said, that's over. We had a chance to steal one. We didn't do it. It's behind us. And now we got to move on. So I thought PG did a great job of just moving on, like you said, and having a big game for us tonight in Game 3.
Acho! Real coach right there. Did the Clippers prove they're the better team in Game 3?
No, I like Ty Lue. I had to answer the question first, but I really like Ty Lue.
You're not a real coach, or no?
No, they did not prove that they're the better team. Sel, you've taught me this. I've heard this before. Y'all know this. We all know this.
Respect.
You never judge a man or woman at their lowest point.
Okay.
You never do that, right?
Yeah,
like, if I fall on hard times, don't judge me when I'm at my hardest time. Look at the aggregation, my highs, my lows, and then make your assessment. But don't ever judge somebody when they're at their lowest point. I'm not going to judge the Phoenix Suns last game. That was literally their lowest point. Let's start with their star player, Devin Booker. He's never shot that bad through 85 games, regular season 72 and the 13 in the playoffs. That's his lowest shooting percentage ever this season.
Ever?
Let's talk about the Phoenix Suns collectively. They shot 38% from the field. Third worst shooting percentage over 85 games, 72 regular season and 13 in the postseason. Third worst shooting percentage. So I'm not going to judge the Phoenix Suns collectively based off that last game. What y'all didn't hear in that Ty Lue sound about PG, after they lost Game 1, Ty Lue said in talking about PG that he talked and reminded PG that he's not who PG was last year, that you never judge a man by one game. You never judge a man by one series. And thus, I'm also not going to judge the Phoenix Suns off one game, particularly their worst possible game. Devin Booker don't shoot 5 for 21. He literally doesn't, because he's never done it before. Devin Booker don't go 1 for 7 from 3. Devin Booker is trying to figure out, one, how to play with a face mask on. He called Rip Hamilton the night before the game. Y'all remember Rip? Won the 04 finals for the Pistons. He calls Rip Hamilton, famously known for wearing the face mask because he broke his nose countless times. Says, "Hey, big dog, how do I play with this thing?" Rip Hamilton told him, "My only piece of advice, never take it off." So Devin Booker's trying to figure out how to play basketball when it feels like he's wearing a helmet. I get the confusion there. Chris Paul, first game back after missing 2 games of COVID, 5 for 19 from the field. That's not Chris Paul, and that's not Chris Paul's character, his DNA. No, the Clippers did not prove they are the better collective team off winning 1 game. Were they the better team last night? Yes. Is that all that ultimately matters for last night? Yes. But who's the better team in totality? I still like the Suns.
You still like the Suns?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm glad you don't love them anymore. I noticed that. Freud, anybody? Freud? First of all, I got to celebrate a little bit. Let a little of this leak out. Because you came on here with a great take, with tremendous intel. You even pulled at the heartstrings. He called up Rip in a despair moment. But I got a Bobby Shmurda on your end. I told y'all this was going to happen right where we want them. Are we the better team? And it's going to show. We were the better team during the regular season when we played them. Yeah, they had a better record than us, but in the regular season matchups, or those 3 games, we won 2 of them. And now, if you look at this series, we're down 1-2. But be real, Acho. You used to play the game. You used to text your boys after the game like, "Man, we gave that one away."
Yes, sir.
Bruh, if you were on the Clippers at the game 2, you were like, "Bruh, we gave that one away."
That's true.
So it really should be 2-1, but I don't play the hypothetical game. Let's get into this take right here, because I got to combat my boy Acho. Woo! I care about the Phoenix Suns, so I'm going to do something that you didn't even do. I'm going to judge them at their lowest point because their lowest point right now is going to be their new norm, and they need to get used to it. Think about it. Anybody in your life, when they hit rock bottom, you don't judge them unless you think, uh-oh, they're going to stay there. I think the Phoenix Suns going to stay there. So let me show you my Hallmark card, my heartfelt emotions toward this team. Boy, y'all in trouble. Let's start at the top. Devin Booker.
Yes, sir.
Devin Booker. Don't blame it on the mask. I know the mask is impairing you. I know it's difficult. But Devin Booker, there's been a trend with this mask and that broken nose. And it's the mask that is masking the real issue. Wordplay. It's Patrick Beverly. You got mad at me when I dug in the weeds to go find Marcus Morris' ass. Wait till I go find Patrick Beverly. I am underground looking for Patrick Beverly, and I found him. He was the hero of Game 2, but that got lost in the headlines because of the alley-oop. Now, we're going to talk about Patrick Beverly because let's look at this full screen of Devin Booker. The mask won. Woo! The sun is setting, y'all. The sun goes down. Devin Booker in Game 1, 15 of 29, 40 points. We remember that triple-double, first time in the Western Conference Finals, and he balls like that. Patrick Beverly only played 15 minutes that game. Ty Lue was out there playing chess, just trying to figure it out, slow playing this, not checkers. It doesn't happen fast. Games 2 and 3, Ty Lue said, Patrick Beverly, you jump on Devin Booker. And T-Man, we'll sprinkle you in as well, just to throw him off. Look at Games 2 and 3. 10 of 37. Combined 35 points in 2 games. That is fewer than 1 game where he balled out in Game 1. Here's another thing that I want you to just take notice of. Not only Devin Booker is going to be an issue in terms of them resurrecting themselves, Chris Paul is out of sorts right now. You can blame Corona. You can blame COVID. But I'm telling you guys, it's also the pace of play. Monty Williams talked about this postgame. Chris Paul talked about this postgame. Now, man, I'm prophetic up here, bro. I'm going to tell you what I said, and I'm going to tell you what they said. Chris Paul says this postgame. We missed campaign.
Of course.
I've been at home watching these last 2 games, and I saw the pace he was playing with. Chris Paul was better for this team on FaceTime than he was. Helen told me to say this. Than he was on full court. But let me just stop that. All I'm saying is, man, they in trouble for real. People thought I was a hater. People thought I wasn't on to something. I'm telling you, if this team doesn't change their dynamic, they are done.
If you would have told me that Campaign was only going to play 4 minutes and Chris Paul would play 39, I would have co-signed your take yesterday.
Oh,
I didn't think that the addition of Chris Paul plus a Campaign injury, thus Campaign not playing at all. Let's talk about it like this.
Let's go.
Campaign is the 3rd best player on the Suns as it pertains to getting his own shot. Maybe the 2nd. In all honesty, I like Devin Booker, and then I like Campaign, and then I like Chris Paul, and then I like Ayton when it comes to creating your own shot.
Can't be mad at that.
The Suns lost that, big dog.
Yeah.
If you can't shoot the ball from the field, if you can't shoot the ball from distance, 15, 20 feet away from the basket, what does everyone say? NBA players, analysts alike, just see it go through the hoop. Just try to go to the cup. When the Suns were shooting 38% from the field, you want to know what would have helped? Having your 3rd leading scorer over the course of the playoffs and Campaign, that would have helped over the course of this playoff series. Then you want to know what would have helped? Having a guy who could go get you a layup. Campaign went 12 of 24 in prior games. Like, that would have helped. So, assuming Campaign does not return because he sustained that left ankle injury early on in the game, assuming Devin Booker cannot adjust to the mask, then I'll give you that. Like, I will... Or if you want to say you'll take it, you can take the Clippers being the better team if the Suns have the Campaign out and if Devin Booker doesn't adjust. Remember what I said last week. The greatest thing for the Clippers is their depth. The Clippers can sustain that loss of Kawhi Leonard because you still have Paul George. You still have Reggie Jackson, who has had a resurgence that I ain't seen before or predicted. You still have Marcus Morris, who does show up, but he does disappear at times.
Yeah.
The Suns, though, they can only sustain certain losses. Like, they did steal a game in Game 2. I know you don't like to say that they did, but me just kind of sitting neutral. I don't really love the Clippers. I don't love the Suns. I love good basketball. I'm like, the Clippers should have won that, Jordan.
Yeah.
The Clippers did lose a game, and the Suns did steal that game in Game 2.
Right.
I don't know that the Suns can sustain a Campaign injury because Campaign gave you 29. Campaign was driving and getting layups. So in the event Devin Booker does have an off night, Campaign can go get buckets. That, to me, though, though, does not prove that the Clippers are a better team because what did I say first? I'm not going to judge the Suns at their lowest point. And Campaign with an ankle injury, Devin Booker with his worst field goal percent shooting, that's the lowest point. I'm not going to assess them as that.
So you're not going to do your job. You're not going to be a responsible media member. My boy Kwame was right, man. I don't know what I'm doing in this industry.
What Kwame say?
You. He talking about you. You ain't going to judge them at their lowest point. Oh, you know what?
You told me I can't do that.
I telling you.
About Cam Newton.
You
told me I can't judge Cam because he was at his lowest point. You never judge a man at his lowest point.
Well, I got a better example than Cam Newton, and that one's a little more detailed than that, but I respect you. How about we're at our lowest point? Where's Kawhi? Anybody seen Kawhi? No, we ain't got Kawhi. Y'all talking about campaign? He don't even start. And y'all talking about we ain't gonna be the same with our campaign. Bruh, respond in life. It ain't about getting knocked down. It's about if you getting your ass up. And the Phoenix Suns, that sun done set, bruh. Let me tell you, campaign. We ain't got Kawhi or Serge Ibaka. And you talking about campaign? Who's a beast. I respect him. Let's talk about why this team is not coming back. Who has a better point differential in this series? Oh, you would think it was the Suns? Nah, it's the Clippers. Who has more points per game average in this series? Oh, you would think it was the Suns? Nope, it's the team that's down 1-2. Clippers are plus 24 when Paul George is out there. You know what the Suns are with Devin Booker, the masked man? -5. What the hell? Let me tell you this sentence and tell me if this stings, because it hurts to say it, but it probably hurts to hear it. Only thing better than Chris Paul playing in Game 3 is him playing with no backup in Game 4 if you're a Clipper. Think about that. They are stuck with Chris Paul if you're the Clippers. You drawing it up, you Ty Lue, you got your Rubik's Cube. I don't know about you, I could never figure those things out. Never, right? I would take the stickers off and try to put them over here and do all kinds of stuff. People are like, that ain't it. Ty Lue know how to figure out that Rubik's Cube in 2 games. All the time. Every series, this playoffs, this postseason. He done figured this one out. He's like, they stuck with Chris Paul. Campaign is hurt. What they gonna do? You said you would co-sign me if Chris Paul had to play 39 minutes. Well, co-sign me. He got to play now because campaign probably is out. Think about what happened to Chris Paul. Damn, I'm doing my job so well that it sounds like I'm a hater. But I like Chris Paul, and if he mad at me, he better not be mad at me. Be mad at this performance. Zubac was guarding CP3. Did you see it? Multiple times. Zubac can't guard Ayton. He could guard CP3. Okay. Booker getting ripped by Patrick Beverly. How many times? I just lost count on one hand, went to the other hand. What the hell is that? Patrick Beverly got under him so much, broke his nose, got him all out of sorts. 10 of 37 the last 2 games. We got Terrence Mann out there blocking Booker's shots. Like, Booker's handles are tight. They ain't tight enough because Patrick Beverly picking them, Terrence Mann picking them, blocking them. CP3 really slowed him down in terms of the pace of play. It's just that simple. Now he's out there doing what CP3 does. Bark, beef, him and Paul George going at it. That's when I know CP3 off his game right there. And I ain't mad at it. But all I'm going to tell you is, since campaign got hurt, they ain't going to get it.
Here's what I'll say, though, Sep. And that's how I'm going to end my thoughts.
Yeah, you better.
You cannot say that an individual, you cannot say that someone is better than an individual if the individual's cause for loss is self-inflicted.
Okay, I need an example because I'm digesting that. Okay, give it to me.
If you race Usain Bolt.
Oh, he smoked. First 3 steps,
Of course.
He's slow out the blocks.
But if Usain...
You want to put something on?
If you raced Usain Bolt, the fastest man ever, and he doesn't hear the gun go off, and so you're 60 meters into the race and you win because he did not hear the gun go off and that was a self-inflicted action, then I cannot say that you're actually better than Usain Bolt because his cause for loss was self-inflicted.
Okay, I like it.
I can't say that the Clippers beating the Suns make them better than the Suns because their cause for loss was self-inflicted. Devin Booker, 5 for 21, self-inflicted. Chris Paul, 5.
Self-inflicted? Patrick Beverly is yourself?
Patrick Beverly's not the greatest defender Devin Booker's ever seen in 85 games.
It don't matter if he's
not the greatest.
Oh, you gonna do this?
He's not.
I'm gonna interrupt you.
Please.
Big, fast, strong tackles. Orlando Pace, Walter Jones, Jonathan Ogden, whatever they were saying. Prototypical tackles.
Yes, sir.
I actually were better against Lincoln Kennedy. I was better against those than those bathtub fire hydrants out of shape little plumbers. I couldn't move their little fat, little stumpy butts. Point is, you ain't got to be the best. It's just styles make fights.
Of course, styles.
Patrick Beverly is a fighter.
So do you think that the reason Devin Booker shot the worst he has shot over 85 games was exclusively because of Patrick Beverly, or it was self-inflicted?
No, that's a theoretical response to something that is practically right in front of your eyes, and you just got to respect it. 55% first game, right? That's the best they played in the postseason.
Yes, sir.
No Chris Paul, right? Then his next game, 50%.
Breaks nose.
Breaks nose. Okay.
Or fractionalism.
Professional athlete. Hello. 50% next game. 38 the next game. Did we figure out Luka in the fourth quarters you started to see that decline? Are we figuring them out the same way? Yes. And then this is the point that you can't argue.
What's that?
The coach is telling you what's the problem. You know how coaches get to the podium and they talk PC, but in reality, we know what they really feeling. Here he goes. Monty Williams says he would have played Payne more and Chris Paul less.
Of course.
And you can hide behind COVID and say, well, he's just got to get his legs under him. In reality, coach is sitting there like, this ain't it, bruh. This is just not it. Chris Paul should not be in a position where his coach is even saying we should play him less. You can say COVID all you want. You can say response from injury all you want. I'm telling you the reality. 55 to 50 to 38 ain't just response to COVID. Ain't just a mask. Them Clippers are clamping.
But the reality, though, is, Phil, you would never want to bring Chris Paul back after not playing for about a week and a half of basketball and instantly have to play him 40 minutes.
No,
it's
that's
only
true.
48 minutes
That's
in a game.
true. You're right.
So it's like
You're
the
right.
Suns were playing obviously one without Campaign, who had been their third leading scorer over the course of this series. It really comes down to this. If they don't have Campaign back, and if Devin Booker cannot adjust to the mask, I like the Clippers. But again, all of those things are self-inflicted.
Yeah. You know what else is self-inflicted? If we can't get Kawhi back and we can't get Serge Ibaka back, it's a grown man sweep. Clips in 6. Coming up, Dak Prescott is the 50th best player in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus. We'll tell you if we agree. But first, war of words is on between Kevin Durant and Scottie Pippen. We'll tell you if we like KD clapping back. That's next. Don't speak for yourself, grown man.
Kevin Durant had a memorable performance in the conference semifinals. Loss, emphasis on loss,
Chill.
to the Bucks. I'm just saying, that's what those scripts say.
Do you?
But he was recently called out by the 6-time NBA champion, Scottie Pippen. Pippen questioned KD's ability to lead a team to a title and said he has not surpassed LeBron James. Now, we know KD has never shied away from social media because KD clapped, tweeting, didn't the great Scottie Pippen refuse to go in the game for the last-second shot because he was in his feelings? His coach drew up the play for a better shooter. He added, this guy, Scott, also wanted to enjoy his summer, so he chose to rehab during the season. LOL. Hey, yo, Scottie Pippen, they followed Phil, not you. The smoke. Let's go, Sam. Let's go. This is why I didn't wear a jacket today, because I had to get loose for this.
Let's go, KD. You ain't even got to ask me the question. KD, baby. Go ahead.
Do you like this man, Kevin Durant, clapping back?
I will forfeit the rest of this year's salary for KD to come up here and do the show the rest of the year with us. I love this dude so much, man. I love him. God, Scottie Pippen, you picked the wrong one. Of all players, one, because of his greatness. Like, this is Kevin Durant. Like, pick on, like, Acho Wiley level players, not Kevin Durant. Two, don't you know, this dude, he ain't even petty, and I hate when people call him petty. He just responds properly.
He's petty.
Because people want us professional athletes to live in a different world. So when they meet you and you're actually normal, they're like, wow, you're so down to earth. Where are you at? Where do you live? I live there too. It's called Earth. So Kevin Durant just says, if you come at me, I'm coming back at you. That is an admirable trait, even though Acho disagrees. Here's the problem what I have. First of all, they follow Phil. Golly. Rampart, CPR, he needs that because that is a death line right there. Here's the real thing. If you're going to clap, I'm looking at you with some judgment. Why are you clapping? It was silent out there in the world, right? Kevin Durant was playing ball, taking his lumps, taking his loss, even though he was balling out of control. Scottie Pippen was doing whatever Scottie Pippen does, twisting braids, whatever he been doing, sipping that hand sanitizer in the videos. I don't know what he been doing, whatever. And then you gonna clap. See, I like peace. So when you clap, you disturb the birds I heard chirping. You all of a sudden make this chaotic. So I look at all clappers like, are you clout chasing? Do you got an issue? Are you happy with life? Why are you clapping? But I don't look at clap backers the same way. Kevin Durant, every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Talk about
if you want to come at Kevin Durant, just take this boomerang because it's coming right back for your ass.
Sel, have you ever been to a late night show?
Like
anyone?
What?
Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, any late night show?
None of them you have.
I assume, even if you've been in the audience, here's what y'all don't know.
Yeah.
In the audience, there's someone who holds a sign, and the sign will say laugh.
Yeah.
The sign will say chuckle.
Yes.
The sign will say smile. The sign will also say applause. If someone asks for applause and you clap, don't be mad at someone who claps because they asked for the applause. Scottie Pippen was asked a question. He was asked
Wait a minute, he didn't have to put that sign up.
He was asked a question, and somebody solicited Scottie Pippen to clap.
Yeah.
Just like at a late-night show, somebody will solicit the audience to clap.
Take, though.
Don't be mad at Scottie Pippen for disrupting your piece if somebody asked him to clap, because they asked Scottie Pippen about Kevin Durant in regards to LeBron James. He was asked a question. He was asked a question, I believe it was on GQ. He was asked a question on Yahoo. He was asked a question. Thus, he gave a response. This is why I got an issue with Kevin Durant's response to Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was simply asked a question, and he gave an answer. His answer was not intended to be malicious. His answer was intended to be truthful. Kevin Durant was not asked a question. Kevin Durant was just tweeting from where Kevin Durant tweets. Kevin Durant tweeted with the intention to be malicious. His name is Scottie, not Scott. Hey, this guy, Scott, wanted to enjoy the summer. Well, JD, you didn't want to enjoy your summer, and you're currently enjoying it. So y'all both enjoying summers. So don't
Kevin Durant get his ass.
I'm just saying,
Not the show, just him.
What am I simply saying? Like, KD. The other thing I'm going to say is this.
Whoa, this is so good.
The other thing I'm going to say is this.
What?
I'm not going to judge a 28-year-old Scottie Pippen. Kevin Durant is speaking on the 28-year-old Scottie Pippen. Y'all bring up the tweet if y'all want to. Otherwise, I'm going to simply say it. Didn't the great Scottie Pippen refuse to go into the game for the last-second shot because he was in his feelings and coach drew up a play for a better shooter? That was 1993-94 season. Scottie Pippen was 28 years old. Why am I not going to judge 28-year-old Scottie Pippen? Because if I judge 28-year-old Kevin Durant, that's when he got caught with his burner accounts. We all do stupid stuff at 28 years old, apparently, because you getting caught with burners at 28.
Not
and Scott, you didn't want to get in the game and got 28. It's not analogous at all, but what it is a correlation. Analogies don't have to be
correlation.
There's a correlation. I'm not going to judge a 28-year-old because KD at 28 years old was using burner accounts and forget to switch his handle at burner accounts. Scottie Pippen at 28 years old was too immature to want to go back into a pivotal game because coach drew up a play for a dude that he didn't even want to be on the team 3 years prior. So I don't like KD clapping back in summation because KD clapped back with the intent to be malicious. Scottie Pippen clapped because he was solicited to clap.
Okay, let's attack your take, which was tremendous, because I am upset. See, this is the only time I realize why I don't hang with you outside the show, because you like Steph Curry way too much. You don't like Kevin Durant enough. There's some other issues that I'll keep off air. But, damn. Here's the thing. You cannot protect Scottie Pippen in this moment and try to protect him by protocol. He was asked a question, and so he just gave this answer. If someone comes up to you, I don't give a damn what outlet. I don't give a damn who asked. If they say, how's Marcellus, don't you dare take a shot, because if you take that shot, there's going to be an equal and opposite reaction.
What if I say the truth? Scottie Pippen did not take a shot. Scottie Pippen led by saying Kevin Durant is a greater scorer than LeBron James. He said that. He said Kevin Durant's a greater scorer than LeBron James. He just also added Kevin Durant cared too much about scoring, did not need to take the last shot, could have passed the last shot. He added all truths. If somebody asks me about you and I say, well, Marcellus, he's bald-headed.
No. You left out the part that, and this is what you're trying to hide behind.
What am I hiding?
Intent. Look. If somebody dies, manslaughter or murder doesn't matter to them. It matters to us living, but to the person that's gone, I want to hear about your damn intent.
That's fair.
Look, he tried to kill Kevin Durant. He needs to learn from LeBron. Boy, if you ever son me like that again, if somebody asks you Marcellus, oh, he's great. He needs to learn from straight hand. Actually, I do. But the point is, okay, that's where we're going. We have now widened the borders in terms of what kind of shots we're going to take. Here's another thing that I don't like. The fact that, golly, Scottie Pippen, Kevin Durant, if anything, is like a 2.0 plus version of you in many ways.
Don't do that.
Oh, we don't
do that later. We're going to do that later.
I'm actually giving them respect. Like Scottie Pippen, don't come at and slander the dude that can help prop you up. Like Kevin Durant said, who's a better basketball player? You got quiet.
Of course it's Kevin Durant,
okay, so then,
one-on-one.
So therefore, one, you're talking about heavens you never ascended to. You're talking about somebody up there. Look at your face. See, this is what happens when you widen the borders.
Where's the heaven? Because they both ascended to championships now, Coach. Where's the heaven? They both ascended to all NBA teams now, Coach.
Are we going to do
Where's
this?
the heavens?
Okay, here we go.
Where the heavens
here we go.
Kevin Durant ascended to Scottie didn't ascend to?
You ready for this? Who was the driving force for the championships with the Bulls? Was it ever Scottie Pippen? No,
no,
you
sir.
know that.
No, sir. No, sir. I said no. I said no.
But it took you too damn long to say two letters. N and O. Okay. Kevin Durant has been a Finals MVP, not
Good for
once,
him.
but twice.
Yes, sir.
So he's been the driving force for their championship. Say what you want. Look at those numbers when Steph Curry scoring 11 points and stuff like that.
Driving force?
Whatever you want to say. But we know he has the hardware to shut us up.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay. Now, so in that respect, don't say that now I've ascended higher than you, but the only way I can ascend even higher is if I grab from somebody else up there when you don't even know where I am because you've never been where I am. What is Scottie Pippen's real name? I'm going to give it to you like this. No, I ain't going to do that.
Well, I know it's not Scott. I know that's not what Kevin Durant called him. It's not Scott.
You want to know what his first name is? And that's why he's upset. And middle name Scottie, last name Pippen. You know why? Because in the rest of his life, and this is unfair and unfortunate, but it's the reality. You know when people go up to him and say, oh, man, Michael Jordan, and Scottie Pippen. Everywhere he goes, it's and Scottie Pippen. So now, instead of just taking it like it is as the 1B, the 2 of a team, he wants to shoot at a 1 who is dealing with a completely different animal than what he ever had to deal with as the 1.
Scottie Pippen has proven to us he is content being a 2. We're going to talk about this later. I bet y'all don't go nowhere. But he's proven us this contentment. But here's what we know. Kevin Durant, November 26, 2020, he said this: MJ, Michael Jordan, is one of one, God level, unmatched, unparalleled, a pure master at this ish. I'm still watching his game to learn. If we all know that Michael Jordan and LeBron James are of parallel levels, maybe Kevin Durant doesn't know it, but we all know that Michael Jordan and LeBron James are of parallel levels. And Kevin Durant himself says, I'm still watching Jordan's game to learn. If Jordan and LeBron are equal and you, KD, are still watching Jordan to learn, then how is it outlandish for Scottie Pippen to say Kevin Durant should still watch LeBron James to learn? It's not a slight.
Yeah,
Kevin Durant just admitted. He just admitted, I'm watching Jordan to learn.
Yeah,
we've all admitted Jordan and LeBron are equal.
Yeah.
So how dare is it unfair to say, hey, KD, you should also watch LeBron James to learn?
Because you're improper with your pronouns. Acho, all day you could say, I need to work on stuff. But then when it's like, you need to work on stuff, it's a different response. Admit that. Now, what if the you is coming from someone who's even lesser than you?
He's not lesser.
Oh, my God, Becky.
He's different.
Listen.
An apple is not lesser than an orange. They different
But you know what?
types of fruits.
Yeah, but look, first of all, that's not even analogous again, because the intent of Scottie Pippen was never to be and Scottie Pippen. It was to be the dude. And then he had to join forces with Michael Jordan through the draft. Duh. And then game recognized game. Nobody ever, you've been on too many teams where you're not deferring, you just getting put in your position. You're getting put in your proper place. Scottie Pippen could never be Michael Jordan, and it's fine.
Sal, the second we came on this show, the very first thing your boy did, and you know your boy flirts with cocky, although I would just say I'm confident, but I'll be flirting with
See,
cocky.
I would never answer that question
I take
the
cocky
wrong
out.
way.
I date cocky. I
hell.
give cocky a couple appetizers. I spend money on cocky. I flirt with cocky, but I'm just confident. But the very first thing I did when we was all at dinner, it was me, you, was the executives, etc. I said, hey, Marcellus.
What's dinner?
I
wasn't invited.
You were there. It was lunch. My goodness.
Oh,
can I tell a story? It was lunch.
I was just trying to figure it out.
Me and you was out at lunch, and we was out at the executive's house, and I simply said this. I said, hey, Sal, feel free to continue doing all the reads, going in the break. Feel free to continue doing all this. I'm just here to make the show better. I'm just here to help you. Did I or did I not say that?
You did.
I did.
But I said it too.
Because I was truly comfortable saying, hey, I'm going to defer to you. It don't mean I'm not trying to be great. It don't mean I'm not trying to have my own greatness, but I'm content kicking my feet up, sitting on this desk and say, hey, big dog, I'm going to defer to you. It doesn't mean you just came out there and took it. Sometimes individuals, even though they're trying to be great, have the wherewithal and the confidence to still defer to another great.
Oh, and that, look, I appreciate the heartstrings. I appreciate the Hallmark cards, but take that shit. I don't need that right now. We having a competition right now, and I'm going to win this debate fully. Scottie Pippen did not defer. He was told, he was instructed by his game and by his coach, who they followed, Phil, that this is your role here. Jordan, this is your role. We're going to take something off the top of your role because Jordan wasn't as efficient as he needed to be. He wasn't as involved in team building as he needed to be. All those things are edits to Jordan as they were edits to Scottie. This is not a slight. You know what the slight is? When somebody is doing their thing and they are killing it, and all you're going to do as a measurement of what they're doing and what they should do is based on another person. Did he give Kevin Durant all his flowers? No.
He gave him some.
He gave him some, and then he gave the rest to LeBron to drop down on Kevin Durant's head. And that's unfair. You wouldn't like it, and that's why Kevin Durant did.
But here's the difference is I might not like it, but I can digest it. You give me some medicine, I don't necessarily like it, but I'm going to digest it because it'll make me better. Here's the issue with Kevin Durant at times. And I think we can all agree on this. Okay. Kevin Durant lovers and Kevin Durant haters. Is Kevin Durant doesn't like to take constructive criticism because all he hears is a criticism and not the construct.
Why?
At least in this instance.
Why?
Because, Sal, Kevin Durant, like all NBA players, could probably learn from LeBron James. We can all agree that people got something to learn from LeBron James. Whether on the court or off the court, you all got something to learn. So it's not a slight. Like, just because Scottie Pippen is not the greater individual player between him and Kevin Durant, you can still teach him something. You were a national record holder.
See your hands right there? That's my problem. He into your little business. How you doing over
You were a national record holder. But you, like I, are going to watch the USA Olympic trials this weekend, and you could still offer some information to a 100-meter, a 200-meter, a 400-meter runner.
Yep.
Now, you are not as good as them, because they're about to go represent the United States of America on an Olympic stage. But because you competed at a very high level, you can still be like, hey, you could clean up your form here. You could clean up your form down the back straight. You could clean up your form down the curve. You could listen to the gun a little bit better and react better. You could dig out the blocks a little bit better. You're not as good as them, but you could offer them some constructive criticism. And if they're wise, they could take it because they're not the best who have ever done it, but they could be if they listen to individuals like you. Kevin Durant. He could listen to the constructive criticism. Criticism, but constructive comes first. And if he was wise in this moment, I'm not going to say he's not wise, but in this moment, he could take it to become the best or better player.
Okay, quote, KD, as great as his offense was, you already know this is going downhill fast. It turned out to be his worst enemy because he didn't know how to play team basketball. Me. He kept trying to go punch for punch. Oh, well, one-legged Harden and 0 for Joe Harris out there, and who else? Okay, so that sounds slightish, even though you're saying, I love your track example because, yeah, I wasn't the fastest dude in the world. At 11, I was, but not now. But the point is, I could still instruct them.
Yes, sir.
But I would never instruct them with this emotional content in this context with this phrasing. I wouldn't. Here's your example. You're saying take the medicine, Kevin Durant, to constructive criticism and move forward. Here's why you are wrong in that situation. You don't have any kids. I do. I try to give my kids medicine when they're sick all the time. They look at me like, what's that? And the only way I make them take that medicine is that I take it as well. Scottie Pippen, you want him to take this medicine? Well, then take a little of yours. Why you can't take the constructive criticism?
That's why you be sleepy on air. You're taking too much Benadryl.
And sweating right here, because you won that one, I think, maybe. We'll see. Coming up, we're not done with Scottie Pippen. Oh, no, no. We'll tell you if we agree that Doc Rivers is to blame for Ben Simmons' struggles. My point, what the hell is Scottie doing? That's next on Speak For Yourself. The Sixers and Ben Simmons' agent, Rich Paul, have started discussions on potentially trading the three-time All-Star, according to a report. This comes on the heels of Simmons struggling on offense and at the free throw line during Philly's playoff loss to the Hawks. Well, Scottie Pippen put the blame on Doc Rivers, saying in GQ magazine, quote, "This kid's been this way the whole time, and Doc brought him in and set him up for failure. He's been like this, and you guys know he's been like this. And Doc kept putting him in the game, kept letting that team do fouls on him." I love it, Scottie. Take him out of the game. The Lakers did it with Shaq, and he's bigger and more dominant and probably more fearless than Ben Simmons. Doc made him be a failure. Got to bring in Fox NBA analyst Chris Broussard, but Acho, you blame Doc Rivers for Ben Simmons' struggles?
Unfortunately, I do blame Doc Rivers for a large portion of Ben Simmons' struggles. I'll start like this. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it too will live its whole life believing it's an idiot.
What?
Albert Einstein. Laugh at me if you will, but it was one of the... Laugh at me if you will, but...
All right, now make that fit into this show.
How am I going to make that fit into this? Again, let me say it because we've been derailed. Everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it too will live its whole life believing it's stupid. Ben Simmons is an all-star. Ben Simmons is a three-time NBA All-Star. Ben Simmons is 5th in the NBA in triple-doubles since he started playing in the NBA, behind Nikola Jokic, NBA MVP, behind Russell Westbrook, NBA MVP, behind LeBron James, NBA MVP, behind Luka Doncic, superstar and the best player under 25. Everybody is a genius. Ben Simmons has proven himself to be a basketball genius, if you will. Again, Ben Simmons, he's 3-time All-Star in 4 seasons. Now, if I, Marcellus, to use my example, were to take a fish out of water and place it at the base of a tree, and individuals were to walk by and look at that tree and look at that fish and be like, ha, look at that sorry animal trying to climb up that tree. It has no talent at all. Well, surely you could be mad at the fish, and you could be mad at the fish, in theory, for not being an animal that both has the ability to swim and climb. However, you should probably be mad at the individual for taking the fish out of water and planting it at the base of the tree. Doc Rivers, you're the individual that's taking Ben Simmons, who you know has an inability to shoot, who you know has an inability to be clutch in crunch time, who you know has several inabilities and inefficiencies, and you're putting him in a position for those inabilities and inefficiencies to be exposed. Ben Simmons is an all-star. Ben Simmons is on a list with players that have won MVPs, and Luka Doncic, a superstar and a future MVP winner. He, too, has basketball genius in him. We are just judging him by his inabilities and thus looking at him foolishly. But who is the person that is maximally exposing his inabilities? The head coach, Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers does have to take a large portion of blame.
Acho, I hate to say this, bruh. You sound like Doc Rivers. You sound like Doc Rivers back in December when he said, I couldn't care less what Ben doesn't do. I'm going to focus on what he can do and let the media talk about what he can't do. You sound like Doc Rivers in the first round against Washington when he chastised the media and said, shame on you if you can't see how fantastic Ben Simmons is at the other parts of the game. That's a little paraphrase, but that's what he said. And then he shamed the media in the Eastern Conference semifinals when they dared to say, why don't you take him out of the game? And Doc went off on the media again, but then by the end of the series, he was singing a different tune. No, I don't blame Doc Rivers for Ben Simmons' struggles. It's not his fault. Ben Simmons went from shooting 61, near respectable 61% at the foul line to 34% in the playoffs. Here's what I blame Doc Rivers for. What was he doing during the regular season? Doc Rivers was brought in to be the superstar whisperer. Okay? He had coached the Big Three in Boston to a championship. He had worked with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, and that is Doc's reputation. I can get any assistant or scout to give me some X's and O's. Doc Rivers was brought in to have a relationship with these stars and get them to maximize their game. And he didn't do it. And you hope that he was just publicly supporting Ben and privately being like, Ben, you got to work on your jump shot. But it looks like he wasn't. So Doc Rivers during the regular season, that was the time he should have been hounding Ben Simmons to work on his J. And here's when he should have benched him, during the regular season. Ben, every time I see you turn down an open jump shot, I'm benching you. We get into the playoffs. I don't care about the seeding. I got to get you ready for the playoffs. That's when the time was to bench him. It was too late in the Eastern Conference semifinals. He had to ride with what he had. But he should have taught Ben that lesson. Because look, Brett Brown couldn't do it. But Doc has the clout to bench Ben Simmons during the regular season so he learns the lesson. So I blame him for that. I don't blame him for what happened in the Eastern Conference semifinals as far as Ben.
Man, should have benched him in the regular season. That would have been gangster. I mean, look, we know that Doc has the equity, the clout to do that. And they say you can't spell bench without spelling Ben. Let me not go there.
Who says that?
And I don't mean not play him, Marcellus.
Can't spell bench without Ben.
I don't mean, bench him for a long time, but I mean pull him out of the game.
Hey, look.
And make him think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it could be 1 second. You ever been in the game, active, Acho, and then coach said, come here. Ooh, that come here take forever. So it could have been 1 second. You get the message. I'm not blaming Doc Rivers for this situation. I'm not blaming him for his struggles. Look, we live in a world right now where it's so PC. You got to play the game within the game before you even really get to the core of any matter, that we can't just call things like they are.
Call this, Phil.
And boy, you know me. I'm going to call it like it is. What's wrong with us just saying, damn, Ben Simmons, you underperformed. Damn, Ben Simmons, you're inadequate. Just like, that's it. Because when it comes to the dynamic of player and coach, it's interdependent, but it falls on the player ultimately, not the coach. Before Doc Rivers was in Philly, Ben Simmons was declining in field goal attempts per game every single year, and this was his lowest. You know why? Because he was losing confidence in his jump shot. Regardless of how much he's been working on it, the achievement level made him all of a sudden not have confidence in that same J, not have confidence in his free throws. So what does that lead to? A case of the yips. And anybody know about the yips? It gets mental, and it gets mental fast. So let's not blame Doc Rivers for having a guy who's already made a made man, as you said, Acho. This is LSU Ben Simmons all over again, maybe with an ounce of improvement. But like in the morning, my kids, Araya, MJ, and Olivia, and Araya gonna eat all of the food. You gotta get there before her. She's a 2-year-old. There's 2 types of pancakes. My wife likes to make one type, I like to make the other type. I like to make the Instamix. It's simple. You just get the powder, pour it out, add water, pancakes. My kids notice the difference. Now, there's another version my wife makes. It takes oil, butter, eggs, milk, and they're fluffier, and they love it. Ben, all this is you gotta cook it up a little longer, a little stronger, a little different, and some more ingredients, and things will turn out better. You don't dedicate yourself to that, it ain't a Doc Rivers issue, it's not an organization issue, it's a man in the mirror issue.
Here's a problem, though, Sel, and here's a problem, CB, with both of you all's takes is who's the authoritarian in the take? You said that your wife makes the pancakes. Your wife runs the household. That's the authoritarian.
No, I ain't going that far. We share this house.
It runs the household in regards to making the pancakes, Phil.
Okay. Just breakfast.
She's the authoritarian in that situation, right? Or you are the authoritarian. Either way, it's not your kids making the pancakes.
Yeah.
So when the pancakes are being made, who you're looking at is who's the obligation to. But let me get back on track. Let
them eat.
CB, it comes down to Doc Rivers has the decision to make as to Ben Simmons and Ben Simmons' confidence. You said you blame Doc Rivers over the course of his season. You said you blame Doc Rivers, but you don't blame Doc Rivers for the free throw rows and the free throw percentage dropping drastically. But you know free throws, CB, is for 2 primary components. Can you actually shoot a free throw? And then it's a game within the mind. So at the point in which Doc Rivers has left Ben Simmons out there to lose all of his confidence, what you expect to happen. But furthermore, you, CB, and Sel, y'all both parents, so y'all have actually been in the situations. There are times when you put your children in positions to succeed. There are times when you allow an individual who you have authority over, you allow them and you dictate what they do and do not do. Sel, I'm going to personalize this now for you, and then I am done.
Yeah.
It was the 400 meters, sir, that you were a national record holder. It was not the 800, nor was it the 1600, nor was it a mile. It was 1 lap, not 2 laps, and definitely not 4. But Sel, if your coach would have trotted you out there and said, all right, big dog, go run 4 laps, go compete in the 1600, we would all judge you based upon how you did in the 1600. And although you were incredibly talented, a national record holder, you would not have succeeded in the same capacity because that is not where your talents lie. Ben Simmons is incredibly talented. I'd not say a national record holder, but 5th in triple-double since he stepped into the league and 3 consecutive All-Star games the last 3 years. But Doc Rivers, the coach, is putting him in positions not to succeed. Just like Marcellus, if your coach would have put you in a position not to succeed, it does not remove your talent. It just removes the sense of your coach.
Great take. I can't lie. Because you made me feel good. You talked a lot of good stuff about your boy. But you didn't come to my practices, boy. We had to start off with the mile. And you're right. I was struggling with a K. Struggle. But this is not on Doc Rivers. I don't give a damn how much you make me feel better. Ben is in charge of Ben's confidence. Doc is loosely connected to Ben's confidence in terms of how he gonna put him in positions to grow in that confidence. But Ben was a declining asset before Doc got there. In terms of free throws, in terms of his issues, free throw percentage, yes. Field goal percentage, yes. Field goal attempts, yes. That's the problem. So that's what's eroding the confidence of Ben Simmons. And now you're gonna make Doc have to stop that avalanche of mental criticism that he's having in his own inner dialogue just because Doc has won before. Doc has played with so many star players, you know him, T-Mac, Grant Hill, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, etc. And he's also played with players that couldn't shoot and still found success with him. Rondo, Shaq, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. So don't act like Doc Rivers can't figure it out with a player that wants to figure it out. But Doc tried to protect him on the outside layer, hoping that Ben Simmons was working on the inside. Turns out, Doc, you were wrong. Miscalculation. It happens in the dynamic between coaches and players. So now it ultimately falls not on Doc Rivers, but on Ben Simmons. That's why Rich Paul's there to represent Ben Simmons and seeing what's the best place for him, whether it's in Philly, in a different dynamic, or a different locale.
I'm going to go back to Acho because you still sound a lot like Doc Rivers. So you're saying he should have benched him, but yet you were highlighting all the good things he does, which you were right. He does a lot of great things, and that's why Doc didn't bench him. Because Ben Simmons had 13 assists. So Doc was like, okay, I got to keep him out there because he's distributing the basketball. Ben Simmons helped hold Trae Young was the primary reason. Trae Young shot 5 for 23. So Doc said, I have to keep him out there for defense on Trae. So there was no avoiding the situation. Like the only way Doc could have gotten Ben out of the situation to fail was to bench him. That's it. And I didn't think he should have at that moment in time. Like I said, that was for the regular season. Once you're in the playoffs and you go with your horses, and Ben was doing the other things well, but there was no hiding him on offense. He's your primary ball handler. Or he's in the corner or the dunker spot just standing there. And so there was really nothing they could do. You either had to bench him or you had to play him. And like you said, Acho, he does so many other things well that Doc felt like, well, this still gives us our best chance to win.
Yeah, real talk, man. Let's get back on premise, get back on the tracks. Scottie Pippen, you're off the mark once again. You need LASIK, bro. I don't know what you're blaming Doc Rivers for, and this is a Ben Simmons issue right here. Kobe warned us, like Doc Rivers before he even was in Philadelphia. Kobe said, hey, man, you need to get yourself a jump shot or else you're going to be taking criticism from all the media members and taking those shots. Ben Simmons doesn't have that J. It's starting to undermine everything else he does. I'm going to make it simple for y'all as we get out of here. It's a 3-letter issue, and it ain't D-O-C. It's B-E-N. Coming up is Dak Prescott, the 50th best player in the NFL. It's the Diggy Doc, y'all. The answer is coming up next on Speak for Yourself. Twist that back. Twist that. You're watching Speak for Yourself. Marcellus Wiley, Emmanuel Acho. I don't know where his jacket is either. Let's head to the NFL. Pro Football Focus recently ranked the top 50 players in the NFL right now, and Dak Prescott was number 50. There are also 5 quarterbacks ahead of the Cowboys star, but they did add if Dak, quote, returns healthy in 2021, he should be one of the best players in the game once more. So, Acho, is Dak Prescott the 50th best player?
Of course not, Sal. That's way too high. Dak Prescott, he's not near the 50th best player, but Dak Prescott is a really good player. He's incredibly valuable to the Dallas Cowboys. So what I love about doing this show with you is that you're incredibly intelligent.
Seriously?
And
you just saying that?
No, I'm serious.
Seriously?
And because you're incredibly intelligent, I can talk smart. You can't talk smart to everybody in this life. Ooh. Some people in this life, you have to, I won't say dumb things down, but simplify. Ooh, I don't have to simplify things for you. Yeah. Dak Prescott was the 6th best quarterback on this list.
Facts.
He was behind Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Josh Allen. He was not behind Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was not in the top 50. Lamar Jackson is ahead of Dak Prescott. You know how I feel about Deshaun Watson is what Deshaun Watson is as an individual player. Deshaun Watson, to me, ahead of Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill does not yet caught up to you all in mind, but you all please just look up by play. He's top 5 in every major statistical category as a passer.
That's your guy.
Ryan Tannehill is ahead of Dak Prescott. That is 3 quarterbacks. Now, I preface by saying I love working with Marcellus because Marcellus is smart. There are 3 quarterbacks ahead of Dak Prescott that are not featured on this list.
Yeah.
There are 6 quarterbacks on the list of 50. What that means, for every 3 quarterbacks, there are 25 players. If I just told you there are 3 quarterbacks that aren't on this list that are ahead of Dak Prescott, that means there are roughly 25 other players that have been left off this list that would be ahead of Dak Prescott. Thus, Dak Prescott falls somewhere around the 75th best player in the National Football League, and I think that is fair. He is not the 75th most valuable. That would be ignorant.
Yeah.
But I do believe he's probably around the 75th best player in the league, not near the 50th.
Yeah, this is not contrived. This is real. You just took me into your brain and showed me the building blocks, and I agree with you. I agree with you. Because you got to just look at it, the all 22, Cam, right? So we got 22 total players out there. Not all 22 positions, but players. Receivers messed up the numbers and the math and linebackers, et cetera. But 22. Now, if you are the 6th ranked quarterback, oh, bruh, you ain't in the top 50. It's just going to be that way. So I respect your premise. However, I think I probably got him higher than you, just knowing who you are. But let's talk about what this accomplishment is in the first place. It's a tremendous accomplishment and a compliment. A guy injured. Think about it. Injured.
That's a good point.
We saw you for 4+ games, and you still top 50 in the league. Oh. Makes me want to bring in someone who I know is going to have him in the top 50, I'm assuming. Got to bring in Fox NFL analyst Bucky Brooks, Dak's man. So, Bucky, is Dak Prescott the 50th best player?
No, he's not the 50th best. He's in the top 25.
I knew.
He deserves to be in the top 25 of this list. You guys rattled off these quarterbacks. Like, I'm looking at the list of quarterbacks. Dak Prescott comes in at 6. And so I understand the guys at the top. Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, I'm with that. But that's where we have a breaking point because now we have Russell Wilson and Josh Allen. Dak Prescott is in that conversation when it comes to Russell Wilson. When we look at the numbers, however you want to do it, we want to do team numbers, we want to do individual numbers.
Please, it's Friday. Bucky, don't do this.
When we go there, we talk about winning the game. He's there. The only person who has won more games in the first 4 years of Dak Prescott's career was Tom Brady.
That's terrible.
Say what it is. I talk facts, not feelings. So then we talk about who has a passer rating that ranks right there with Tom Brady. Dak Prescott, they're tied. 7th overall, 7th all time. When we go first 5 years of a career, Dak Prescott is 2nd, ahead of Dan Marino, who wears a gold jacket, right behind Russell Wilson. So however you want to slice it, you're going to have to put some respect on Dak Prescott's name because he's in. However you want to do it, Acho, I'm locked and loaded. I got ammo when you want to go with this.
Oh,
Bucky, this is one of your worst takes ever.
What you talking about, Willis? What you talking
Bucky,
about?
you said he's top 25. You might find people that will put 25 quarterbacks ahead of him. Come on, Bucky. Now, look, Bucky, let me start here. What we're not going to do, Bucky, is say that Dak is better than Russell Wilson. Like, let's start. Your first sentence. You know when you're reading a paper and you're editing one, I have to do that.
Why are we going to say that?
Your first sentence was wrong. Here's why we won't say it. First off, in the first, Dak has played now 5 years, so stop talking about the first 4. Let's talk about the first 5. In the first 5, Russell Wilson went to 2 Super Bowls. That's not my fault he got hurt. It's not your fault he got hurt. It's somebody's fault he got hurt, but nobody on this set. Anyway, so Russell Wilson is better than Dak, and don't even disrespect Russ, and I'm not even a Russ lover, but that is my dog, but don't disrespect Russ like that. Second off, Bucky Brooks. Lamar Jackson, not better than Dak Prescott? Like, Bucky, it's Friday. It's supposed to be a fun day, good conversations. Then you came up here and said he's top 25. Bucky, you gave me a list of team accomplishments. Well, Dak Prescott's collectively won. Dak Prescott, the Cowboys have won. Tell me what Dak has done. He went to 1 Pro Bowl in 2018. Mitch Trubisky went to a Pro Bowl in 2018. I don't want to waste any more energy.
You're being kind and killing them kindly. Come on, Bucky.
No, that's fine. I like that because I like how you said that Russell Wilson went to 2 Super Bowls. he did on the backs of the Legion of Boom. Because when it's been his team, he ain't going to no Super Bowls. He ain't even going to a championship game. So it ain't just Russ out here doing it all by himself when it comes to the Seattle Seahawks. We also saw when they let Russ cook last year, Russ can't cook. Russ got to go to Postmates, DoorDash, whatever you want to call it. He got to order in. He can't do it by himself. But we ain't going to talk about that. Look, for you to even fix your lips to say Lamar Jackson, I know that pains you because I've been on this thing and I've heard you talk about Lamar Jackson, and you ain't really feeling Lamar Jackson like that. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck.
Receipts.
So, talk about individual accomplishments because you didn't want to talk about teams. One of only 2 quarterbacks with 100-plus passing touchdowns and 25 rushing touchdowns. Dak Prescott, Cam Newton are there. When we talk about 422 passing yards per game, he was averaging. Acho, he was going to surpass Peyton Manning for that single-season record when it comes to passing. So when we talk about these things, whether we talk about the team or the individual, you're going to have to give number 4 his flowers because he likes them. He probably likes those orchids rather than them tulips that you want to give. It's all the way Dak Prescott. He's in the top 25. It's the most important position in the field. He's in the top 5 quarterbacks. You got to put him in the mix. That's what it is.
Bucky, I feel like I'm arguing with I feel like I'm arguing with a flat earther. Because
I'm a flat earther.
Like there's tons of evidence that simply supports the fact that a flat earther is wrong. However, a flat earther will continue to argue the point. Bucky, there's tons of evidence that supports what you are saying is absolutely ludicrous.
You got any of it?
Dak Prescott being a top 25 player. Literally, Dak Prescott's probably the 9th best quarterback. The 9th best quarterback, Bucky Brooks. And you want to make it, because here's what we know. Patrick Mahomes, yes. Tom Brady, yes. Aaron Rodgers, better. I'll go to Deshaun Watson. I'll get to Russell.
You got to skip Russell.
I'll go to Deshaun.
Whoa. We can't do that. We can't put Deshaun Watson ahead of him. We can't do that. We know what that is.
Bucky ready for the race.
I give you that.
Get your energy out.
Bucky, every statistical category, Deshaun was better last year. Every statistical category.
I know you like to talk about winning.
Deshaun
he
was
just brought a bag of potato chips.
What was that Prescott? What was that Prescott on pace to go? What was he on pace to go? He was on pace to go 4-12. What did Deshaun Watson go? 4-12. So winning would have been parallel, Bucky Brooks. Winning, I can't do this no more. I can't do this no more.
How are we going to say he's better, though?
Because Deshaun Watson was top 3 in every quarterback stat.
Oh, ding. Can I get a little of these ribs? Boy,
get all of them.
Boy, but I mean, look.
Wait, check, please. Check, please. Check, please.
We need to give credit to Jameis Winston when he threw for 5,000 yards and he had 1 million touchdowns and 30 interceptions. Because if we just pulling numbers and playing fantasy football, we can do that. But it also has to do with your game and what it looks like, right? Visually. It has to look like that,
Bucky.
right? That's what we're
Bucky,
get off my co-host. Get off him. Get off my boy. God, dog.
What you got on this list?
I got a question. I have a question.
That win percentage ain't the same. Deshaun went 29 wins, ain't 42.
Bucky, I have a question. If the assumption that we are making for Dak Prescott being a top 50 player, we're assuming he's healthy, correct? We're assuming he's fully healthy, correct?
Yeah.
Of course. If we're assuming that players are fully healthy, Dak Prescott's probably the 4th best player on the Cowboys, if we're being honest. I didn't want to go there, but if we're assuming health, America, assuming health, Tyron Smith is for sure better than Dak Prescott.
Not now. I thought he was hurt.
We just said assuming health.
Oh, okay.
That's why I started there.
Well, I mean,
if we're assuming health, Tyron Smith is better than Dak Prescott. Tyron Smith will get a gold jacket. If we're assuming health, Zach Martin is better than Dak Prescott.
My bad.
We just said assuming health. Assuming health or not. If we're assuming health, Dak Prescott's the 4th or 5th best player on the Cowboys if you want to assume health. Because assuming health, Zach Martin's better, he's getting a gold jacket. Tyron Smith's better, he's getting a gold jacket. And if we're assuming health and we're assuming the offensive line is better, thus Zeke is better. So if we're assuming health, Dak Prescott is the 4th best player on his own team, and you want to make him the 50th? You want to make him the 25th best player in the league, and he the 4th best player on the 3rd worst team in the league? Sal, find the door.
The door?
Somebody show me the door.
Look, security. I'm security. I mean, Bucky, you lost your larynx or something. Your voice is gone or your audio's gone. Acho gently woke up and responded. I'm going to let America settle this beef, but I just want to start off and end with this respect to this accomplishment for Dak Prescott. It's insanely hard to be top 50, y'all.
I wouldn't know.
In a league of 1,900 plus professional athletes, greatest athletes on this planet. It's beyond a tremendous compliment to be top 50. That's why I'm so thankful and boastful that I was not only top 50 once, but twice. And you know what, Acho? Fix your face. This is my Emmy moment. Coming up, Scottie Pippen and Kevin Durant are having a war of words right now. Oh, my God. But we'll tell you whose career we'd rather have. Here we go, Acho. Ding, ding, ding. That's next. Speak for yourself. Kevin Durant and Scottie Pippen are beefing right now, but we want to settle this one on the court. Kevin Durant is a two-time NBA champion and is a former MVP. Pippen is a Hall of Famer with 6 NBA titles on his resume. So, Acho, whose career would you rather have? KD's or Pippen's?
This answer is honestly easy, and it's a silly question. Obviously, it's Scottie Pippen.
Wait a second. Hold on.
Scottie Pippen. Now, America, let's start here. Not who is the better player. Kevin Durant is clearly a better one-on-one basketball player than Scottie Pippen. I'm saying it twice in case you just now catch it. Kevin Durant is clearly a better one-on-one basketball player than Scottie Pippen. But the question is, whose career would you rather have? And I would rather have Scottie Pippen's career. Marcellus, I will start here. You remember the song Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls?
TLC?
TLC.
They coming out here to L.A. Let's go together.
TLC, they coming out here. Who was the leader for TLC? It was T-Boz.
It depends on what you want to do. Left Eye had her moments, T-Boz, and obviously Chile.
Of course. I'm not talking Q rating, but I'm talking the leader of that group was T-Boz. Now.
That's what you say. Okay.
Or make it chili. That's fine. We'll get there later.
I like my chili.
Who would you rather be? I'm going to ask you this question. Who would you rather be? Kelly Rowland, who was the...
Don't do this. That's the homie. Okay, go ahead.
Kelly Rowland or T-Boz?
And like just all things considered, careers.
All things considered.
Kelly Rowland.
You would rather be Kelly Rowland. That's fair. That's a fair answer. Marcellus would rather be Kelly Rowland, who was number 2 to Beyonce and Destiny's Child, than T-Boz, who was number 1 to another parallel but not nearly as potent all-girls group in TLC. Why? Because we would always rather be the greatest Robin of all time than just another Batman.
Man, that's a lot. Whoa.
Rather be Kelly Rowland is the greatest Batman of all time because Beyonce is the greatest Robin of all time is Kelly Rowland because Beyonce is clearly Batman. Scottie Pippen is the greatest Robin of all time because Jordan is clearly Batman. But we would all rather be the greatest Robin of all time than just another Batman. Because Kevin Durant is a Batman. And let's make no mistake about it. He is a Batman. But he's just another Batman. Scottie Pippen, the greatest Robin of all time. Sal,
yes?
Give me the top 50 player over the top 20 player or top 15 player. Give me the top 50 player with 6 rings over the top 15 player with 2. Give me the top 50. Give me the top 50 players. Scottie Pippen was a top 50 player.
Facts.
Give me a top 50 player with those 7 all-NBA teams, those 8 all-defensive teams. Give me Scottie Pippen, the greatest Robin of all time, over another Batman. Now, before I pass it to you, I'm going to do something, because you did it for me. I asked Marcellus Wiley, I said, who was the leader of TLC? They sing Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls. They sing Scrubs. I don't want no scrubs. Scrubs, they got
that song ain't right
either. Scrubs. Now, with all that being said, Marcellus said, I don't know who the number 1 was. Maybe it was T-Boz, maybe it was Chile. In the same breath, when the Warriors from 2017 to 2019, when you asked them who was the number 1, people dispute. I don't know who the number 1 was. Maybe it was Steph Curry. Maybe it was Kevin Durant.
Nobody's disputing that.
People dispute. No. Just like you disputed. So with all that being said,
you almost had me.
I would rather be Scottie Pippen than Kevin Durant because I would rather be the greatest Robin of all time Just another bad one.
You almost had me. I was almost white flag. Yeah, I was about to just concede this one until you said that last part. Oh, no, no, no. Let's talk. First of all, none of these notes work in this argument right now. You have taken this to a deeper, better place.
I prepped the whole show for these 10 minutes.
Okay. Now, before, it's obviously Kevin Durant.
It's not. It's not at all.
It really is.
It's not at all.
It really is. Now, I know it's obviously Kevin Durant because when someone is trying to counter him, it's not Kevin Durant. The first thing they say is, okay, Kevin Durant's better.
A better player.
Better player.
Yes, sir.
When we talk about careers in basketball, I lead heavily with who's the better player. But there are other circumstances, conditions that factor in. Have you ever been to Coachella? No, not yet, because you haven't been in LA that long, right? We'll go, and I'll leave, and then you just stay and play and have fun. I'll just make sure you know where it's at. And then I'll look one time and say, I gotta go. All right, anyway, in Coachella, you could think that Coachella is this big, huge playground and fairground, and you see Ferris wheels, and it feels like millions of people. But there are levels to this. Now, I don't know when I take you and when we go, but you're gonna notice there's gonna be different access passes. Okay. They give you the wristband.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, everyone has to wear a wristband no matter who you are. So the general admission has their wristband, and they feel great, but it's a certain color. And then there's VIP, who really feel special. I mean, they feel special. Until they realize, oh, they get to go where general admission can't go, but they can't go everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Damn, all these VIPs. And then there's, I'll hook you up. I got you. Performers passes, artist pass, and that's for the one. Now, everybody ain't getting that by far. Golf carts in the back. Hey, what's up, Jay-Z? Oh, what's up, Beyonce? You ain't seeing Robins back there. You know why? Because Robins don't got those passes. Robins are VIP. Sorry, Scottie Pippen, that pass don't work on this stage. Because this is a solo act when we talk about Batmans only. So here's the thing. He can't even go where Kevin Durant goes by being a Robin. But I don't like to do that. I like to do it like this. You trying to tell me that Johan Blake has a chance to be greater than somebody who was the Usain Bolt of their team. We know Johan Blake is amazing. We know he'll whoop all of us and run it. But he ain't Usain Bolt. Let's talk about these guys against each other before we even get into all these other.
Yes, sir, please do.
Who has more MVPs?
Kevin Durant.
Finals MVPs.
Kevin Durant.
All-star appearances.
Kevin Durant.
Scoring titles.
Kevin Durant.
First team All-NBAs,
Kevin
which
Durant.
is a major one. Points per game. Let's stop. Okay, let's get into this. If Kevin Durant woke up as Scottie Pippen, you know what he would do? First of all, want to go back to sleep and say, this is a bad dream.
No, sir.
Then he would say, why am I so damn short? Then he would say, why I can't shoot as well? Then he would say, why can't I dribble as well? He said, where does hair come from? Why am I not the best player on my team anymore? What happened? This has never been my reality. Why is my voice so damn froggy? Like, Kevin Durant would have a nightmare if he had to wake up and say that he was Scottie Pippen. How dare you,
If
bro?
Kevin Durant woke up as Scottie Pippen, the first thing he would do is say, what am I doing with all these rings?
No, he would say, who gave me these rings?
What am I doing with all these rings? That's the first thing Kevin Durant would do.
He said, where'd you
But
win that?
let's do this,
You gonna take it
America,
back?
because I trust you all's intelligence that y'all can track with us. I trust your ability to understand we're not asking who would win in a game of one-on-one. We're asking whose career would you rather have. When you're talking about career, we have to look at individual and we have to look at collective. Let's look at them both. Can we agree? You got to look at team, you got to look at individual.
Oh, I'm with you.
Kevin Durant has way more individual success than Scottie Pippen.
Well, then
already
you
said
want his career.
4 scoring titles, 1 MVP, 2 NBA MVPs. Scottie Pippen has way more team success than Kevin Durant. So if you're looking at both of the factors, you got to look at team success, individual success. Kevin Durant wins individual, Scottie Pippen wins team. Now you have to look at how do their second categories rank? Because Scottie Pippen's individual success, 7-time All-NBA, 8-time All-Defensive. Kevin Durant, no times All-Defensive, and yes, 9 times All-NBA when you count first team plus the second teams. So Scottie Pippen individually, he's not that far behind. He's a top 50 player. Kevin Durant collectively, though, only 2 rings to Scottie Pippen's 6 rings. I say only because in comparison to Scottie Pippen's 6. So collectively, Scottie Pippen's team success trumps Kevin Durant's team success way greater than Kevin Durant's individual success. trumps Scottie Pippen's individual success. When you say whose career would you rather have, you got to factor all that, big dog.
I do, but I don't factor it and lean as much as you do into the collective we as I do the I. That's our biggest difference. That's one of our things.
Okay,
We always,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Most of our issues come into, I'm a real I guy, and you into this we, empathy, reconciliation. Like, well, forget all them people, me. It's like negotiations. I've been to too many negotiations. You have too.
Yes, sir.
That collective success gets that door open, but what's going to keep you in there and make you smile is what you have done to that collective success. That's what this conversation is. A Hall of Fame jacket, which I don't have, would never get in the game of football. I got a Columbia Hall of Fame. We didn't get a jacket, got a trophy. Point being, it's customized for you, not the team. Like, what size Jordan wear? What size Paxson wear? Like, nah, Scottie Pippen. So I'm going to put Scottie Pippen, and I'm going to put Kevin Durant, make them look at each other, and we're going to figure this out. I'm going to give you this example. Family offices. A lot of people know about the collective wealth of a family, right? You got a collective wealth of a family. The Achos. I know y'all got money, because first of all, y'all live in Texas and you stretch it out there. But two, y'all did well for yourself. All right,
sir.
So there's a collective family wealth in the family office. But then I talked to Acho, and he's like, yeah, my family's worth $10 million. How much you got, Acho? I mean, I'm working my way, and I got an annuity, and if this adds up, I might get $1 million. That's Kevin Durant in the family office. He has to chunk the bulk of the money.
Yes, sir.
You sitting there talking about, well, since the family rich, but you can't spend.
But here's the kicker. Is the family the richest family of all time? The Chicago Bulls are the wealthiest dynasty as far as reputation, the wealthiest dynasty as far as
Celtics,
impact of modern era. I'm not talking 1960 Celtics, different conversation.
That's real.
But like modern era, the Chicago Bulls had a 10-episode documentary just last year.
Yeah.
The Celtics, they did have a 19-hour documentary, but only 4 hours of it was dedicated to that 1960 squad. I did my homework for this block, y'all. So, also understand, sometimes a great Robin has more access than another Batman. I went to an award show. I went to an award show a couple years back, and I saw this A-list celebrity rolling into the VIP area. Now, the person with the A-list celebrity was not A-list, but you know this, and you've been this.
Yeah.
When you are the A-list celebrity, whoever you with, they come in right there with you. Now, the lesser A-list celebrity or B or C-list celebrity, you might not have the same access that the person rolling with the A-list celebrity. With all that being said, we will always be talking about Scottie Pippen, because we always gonna be talking about Michael Jordan. So forever, we gonna be talking about Scottie. We're not always gonna be talking about Kevin Durant. We don't always, we're not.
Blasphemy.
We're not. We're not always talking about Larry Bird. We talk about Larry Bird in context of Magic Johnson.
You better stop that.
We talk about Larry Bird when Luka pops off. Like, dang, we gonna compare. Yeah, Luka's a hybrid of Larry Bird and Magic. But this show, I've been on this show for 1 year and 7 days now. We have only talked about Larry Bird in the context of someone else.
You ready?
We have talked about other individuals. We've talked about Michael. We've talked about Magic. But we talk about Larry in the context of someone else.
Oh, my God.
What's wrong?
Larry Bird. You know how many times we said him on this show? That was 3. That's it. It ain't been no more other times. You ain't right about that. I can't believe that you'd rather be the dude in Entourage than the main dude, the A-lister?
Whose entourage am I in? I would rather roll with Beyonce. I would rather roll with Beyonce.
You want to know why? Because this is 2 things, and I've seen this happen before. See, entourages get you in trouble because Michael Jordan don't even like Scottie Pippen, according to that documentary, or at least Scottie Pippen felt that way. Ooh, let's not go there. 2, when you get outside and the A-lister goes away, we looking at you, bruh. Now, remember how you was acting in there with your boy? Now how you acting? Kevin Durant could go anywhere and say, what you doing, Scottie? Scottie say, where's Michael? And Michael say, I ain't messing with you. And that's their problem over there. I don't even want to get into this. We're having an issue because you rather be a guy who's like, this is mine. I've done this, but there's a limit to it. That credit card has a limit. You ever had a black card? I used to. I got rid of it because it had no limit, and it was a problem. Because every month I was like, God, dog, I'm spending this money. Kevin Durant has no limit, man. Like, he's already top 15, and he's climbing. We already know what Scottie Pippen is, and it's amazing, but game recognized game, and, let's not get too complicated with this. Who's better? Who's ranked higher? Who did more? You ready for this?
Who did more? Who did more?
Ready?
Wait. I'm not ready. Put the pen down. I'm not ready.
It's down.
Who did more for the game of basketball? Because without Scottie Pippen, there is no Bulls 6 chips. So if you're going to say who did more,
you know what?
Who did more for the game of basketball?
Folklore.
Who did more for the game of basketball?
Always wins in that conversation, even though this one doesn't, because you already seen it all in its entirety. Which movie's better, the one you are still watching or the one you already saw?
You know, sometimes you be in the middle of a movie like, can we leave already? Is the popcorn finished?
Boyd in the Hood, I had to see it all through and Menace to make that decision, okay? I already know what's happening in this situation. Let me just end with this, because you hate scoring, but come on, dog, come on. Pippen has 6 career playoff games with 30 or more points. 6 career, his whole life. Durant had 8 just in these playoffs in 2021. Come on, big dog. Apples and oranges, but they both fruit. Coming up, have the Clippers made it a series after winning Game 3 last night? We'll answer that after I get off the ground. Next on Speak For Yourself. Why are you throwing so many hard punches? Jesus. You rather be Scottie Pippen? Let's get back to my Clippers. Thank you. No more Scottie Pippen talk. They got a huge boost from Paul George's game-high 27 points for the much-needed win in Game 3. Clippers are now 9-1 after being down 0-2 in the playoffs this season. Guess that, Ancho? They could tie up the series tomorrow in Game 4 right here in L.A., which I will be in attendance. And right now we have Chris Broussard back in attendance on our show. So, CB, have the Clippers made it a series? Yes. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, it can be argued that the Clippers have the upper hand, even though they're down 2-1, because they know that they really should be up 2-1.
Boom.
And guess who else knows? The Suns know that they really should be up 2-1. The Clippers have outplayed the Suns over the 3 games.
Yep.
The first 2 games in Phoenix could have went either way. Second game definitely should have went to the Clippers, and both were close. Then the third game, they blew them out. And they blew them out not with Paul George going for 45 or Terrence Mann going for 39 or Marcus Morris hitting 7 threes, something that you know is not going to happen consistently. They beat them with something that you can do every night. And that's defense.
Yes.
Ty Lue continues to be the master tactician and adjuster, and he starts Terrence Mann. I had a scout tell me today, Terrence Mann is just a tick below Kawhi defensively.
Woo.
So imagine a 6'5" Kawhi, young, athletic, long, guarding Chris Paul. I know Chris was rusty, but Terrence Mann had a lot to do with that 5 for 19 shooting. And then Patrick Beverly. He's been riding on his reputation defensively for the last couple years. But in this series, he has brought it. And he is bothering Devin Booker. I mean, Devin's already got the mask and the broken nose to deal with, courtesy of Patrick Beverly. But he's messing with Booker, and that 5 for 21 shooting was, I don't think Booker's going to do that again, but Patrick Beverly has gotten into his head. So the defense allowed them to win a game. Here's something else the Suns know. The Clippers just beat us with Paul George, their best player, missing 17 of 26 shots. The Clippers just beat us with their worst three-point shooting game of the series. Oh, I got Phoenix in 7. Let me put that out there. So I'm not writing off the Suns.
Chill, dog. You messed up.
I'm just saying, they know that they are in for a long, hard fight, and the Clippers can win this thing.
I like everything you said, CB, and everything you said was statistically accurate, and it was very competent. However, I'm going to forecast the same thing I said about the Nets series. I said that Kevin Durant was going to be exhausted because of how much he is playing. That's the same reason I think the Clippers will not make it a series. Paul George, if we look at how many minutes he's played over the course of the playoffs, he's played 2.5 games worth of time more than the next closest player, and that's only Devin Booker. Look at the top 4 players in this series as far as minutes played. So Reggie Jackson has been balling. Paul George has been doing his thing. First player of Clippers history, 8 consecutive games, 25 or more in the playoffs. Marcus Morris, Marcellus said, he's the secret ingredient for the Clippers to win. But I think that eventually all those minutes are going to catch up. So while it seems that they've made it a series on the exterior, you got to look under the hood. And if you look under the hood, you're going to find fault.
Look under the hood? Let's look under the hood. What hood, homie? I'm going to tell you what hood, homie. We got these dudes in a gangster sweep. That's 7 games. But I want to go a little more aggressive to that and say grown man sweep, 6 games. Damn, I wish we could get him in the gentleman's sweep, but that's impossible. But a regular sweep is 4. Let's talk about this situation. This is over. Clips in 6. I'm going to tell y'all for real. 10 of the 12 quarters in this series have either been decided or won by the Clippers. We out playing these boys. They just lucky to be up 2-1, and they already know this. Chris Broussard, you made the fatal mistake that a lot of people make. You said, well, we won't see him go 5 for 21 again. You know what's so funny? I wish you were on the show when he went 5 for 16 the game before. And people were saying, he ain't going to go 5 for 16 again. No, you're right. 5 for 21. They are on him like epidermis. It's a wrap. Clips in 6. Grown man sweep. Coming up, Giannis's Bucks will try to tie up the series tonight. We'll tell you if we have more confidence in the Greek Freak or Ice Trae. It's getting cold in here. That's next on Speak for Yourself.
Giannis scored 34 points in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, but it was not enough since Trae Young put on a masterpiece with 48 points and a shimmy to help the Hawks take a 1-0 series lead. Game 2 tonight in Milwaukee. So, Sel, you more confident in Ice Trae or in Giannis, Ugo, tonight?
You know I sweat a lot, so I can't even do this and pull it off. Ice Trae, man.
Ice Trae.
You know me, track at heart. I use the lens of track and field in my mindset, and how I even look at life is certainly sports. Giannis can't stay in his lane. Think about this. When Giannis goes out there and performs, they always say stay in your lane, and most people take that literally, obviously, and physically. But you also mentally got to stay in your lane, run your race. Giannis knows that for him to have impact with his team and them to get over the hump, he can't do it by himself. He can't be the only driving force. Batman needs Robin. When Chris Middleton is playing like an all-star, they win those games because Giannis is going to be stable. Giannis is going to be stable. But you look at Ice Trae, it doesn't matter what's happening around him for these Hawks. They're believers and they're overachievers. Someone else will raise their hand next time. But Ice Trae is doing more, and he could do it without even veering out of his lane, needing assistance like Giannis. So in confidence, Ice Trae, man, from the half court, from the logo, it's him.
Ice Trae a dude. Y'all heard me come on here earlier and say that I think Ice Trae is just as good as Luka when it comes to contributing to team success. So y'all know, if anything, I'm biased to Ice Trae. But
yeah.
I'm more confident in Ugo tonight. Tonight. I'm more confident in Giannis. And really, it's simple.
Okay.
Ice Trae had 48 points game 1. He was a dude. But I'm simplifying this. I'm more confident in a dude whose average shot distance is 6 feet from the basket than the dude whose average shot distance is 18 feet from the basket. Giannis is essentially taking layups for his buckets. Ice Trae shooting 3-pointers basically on average for his buckets. Now, Ice Trae knocked him down in round 1. He shot 50% from the field. Giannis shot roughly 60% from the field. But eventually, Ice Trae could go ice cold. And he could go ice cold much easier than Giannis because he's just shooting more difficult shots. So if I got to be confident in a dude, I'm going to put my confidence in the dude averaging 13 and 14, 13 points, 30 points, and 14 boards, and the dude averaging 30 points and 10 assists, mainly because Giannis plays an easier type of game to duplicate, right? I ain't got these in the notes, but you know, Sel, when it comes down to betting on something or betting on someone or betting on a statistic, what can be done repeatedly? Not what can be done as an outlier, and Ice Trae is not an outlier for 48 points, but what can be done repeatedly? I think it's easier for Giannis to repeat a 35 and 14 type of performance, a 40-point performance based on shots 6 feet from the basket than it is for Ice Trae to put up 48.
Man, you brought up shot distance like that was a compliment. He can't shoot nowhere else. He better be right there, like playing hide-and-go-seek right by the base all the time. I'm like, man, I see you. You're right there by the tree. Anyway, look, Giannis versus Trae Young, last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter in the postseason. Trae Young, 50 points. Giannis, 12. Points created per game this postseason, as you brought up, 54.5 points per game, including 72 points against Game 1 Milwaukee. Giannis, 42. Trae more clutch. My confidence is always in who's clutch. Looking ahead to this weekend, Bucks, Hawks, Eastern Conference Finals, Game 3 is featured on the free-to-play Fox Bet Super 6 app. Download the app and answer 6 questions about Sunday's game for your shot to win $1,000. Coming up, one of Baker Mayfield's teammates said they can beat anybody in the NFL. Really? Tell you how we feel about this next on Speak for Yourself. Browns have a lot of expectations on them this season, and it will not be easy with a Week 1 matchup in Kansas City. Chiefs! Kareem Hunt said, that's a good test, but added, quote, I definitely believe we're real contenders, and I feel like we can beat anybody in the NFL. Acho, you love or hate Kareem Hunt saying this?
I actually love it, Sel, but you know me. I'm a guy who loves the thought of you have to believe it is so, even when it's not so, so that it may be so.
Okay, I'm with that.
I think the Chiefs and the Browns and Kareem Hunt, you got to believe it is so.
Yeah.
You got to believe you can beat anybody, even when it's not so. Even when you know last year you ain't beat everybody, so that it may be so that this upcoming year you actually can beat anybody. Browns, what they were missing throughout the course of their really duration, these last 20 years, and I was a part of the Browns for a year, drafted there, got traded, confidence. Like nobody in that facility believed. It's not like they didn't have talent. Remember, they had first-round quarterback after first-round quarterback. Colt McCoy, all-time winningest college quarterback when he left college. Heisman finalist 2 years in a row. Brandon Weeden, mature first-round pick. Robert Griffin stopped in the hall. Brady Quinn, you know, he was in Heisman conversations. He was a quarterback there. They all had talent. Yeah. Mind you, they had Joe Thomas, a future Hall of Fame left tackle, anchoring that team for forever. Yeah. Peyton Hillis, talented running back on the cover of Madden. The Browns had talent. They never had belief. Now what we know is this. The Browns surely got the talent still. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, best running back combination. Odell Beckham, I saw him working out on social yesterday. He's doing his thing. Jarvis Landry, know what he can do. Tight ends, you got Hooper and Njoku, hopefully is happy to be there this year. Baker Mayfield's talent level is ascending. Defensively, I'm not even going through the litany of players they have. I'll just mention Myles Garrett. They have the talent. Yeah. If you telling me that they about to couple this talent with some confidence and some irrational confidence, then yeah, big dog, I love it because that's what you need to go for, in my opinion.
I'm with you there. Fake it till you make it. So I'm with you. And it's the all season. These bullets are not real. So guess what? I can say whatever I want. They're all blanks. We're just shooting blanks. We're spitting blanks out there right now. Because you got to have faith. I got to have faith. You know that?
No.
You don't?
No.
Damn, you missed out
TLC?
on life. No, it's not TLC. George Michael, man. Teacher. Anyway, you got to have faith. And if you don't have...
Bro, I just found out that... I'm about to tell myself. Sorry, hijacking the segment. I just found out that Mick Jagger wasn't his last name. I didn't realize Mick Jagger was two names.
You know what? I just found that out because you said, I ain't know that either. You're going too far, too deep. You talking all this confidence and talent with this team. I don't even want to talk about Miss Jagger right now. Confidence and talent. Confidence is good. Talent helps. And they might have the most talented roster.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So let's not act like all of a sudden now talent's kicking in. What happened is you just over-talented the game, and that can happen. So many times we get into the attributes, intangibles, and they're amazing. How many times you been at a skills camp, combine, whatever it may be, where we're trying to figure out who's going to be the starters, who's not? The number intangibles help in separation once you qualify in talent. I don't think they collectively qualified in talent like they do now. So all of a sudden, now you see the confidence.
Look, let's hijack this last segment for the sport we both love. Track and field. If you're still watching, don't know we love track and field. Olympic trials. Watch them this weekend.
Shout out to Otto Bolden, who kills it, my dog.
So many people at the Olympic trials running the 100s, the 200s, the 400s. They're all talented. They are all the most elite of elite in America, if not the world at what they do.
Yes.
What separates the individual, and Marcellus and I were literally just talking about this off camera before our mics were live, was confidence. Are you confident in your ability, and are you confident enough that your ability is greater than someone else's ability? Allison Felix, the greatest track athlete really of the modern era, at least the most decorated. If you watched her qualify for the 400 meters, it's a 35-year-old mother. She was just confident that her ability was going to be greater than their ability. They talented too, but it was that confidence that took her over the edge.
Say it, brother.
Coming up, LeBron and Carmelo Anthony are friends. But what about teammates? We'll tell you if the Lakers should be interested in Melo. Next, speak for yourself. So you didn't know Mick Jagger was Mick and last name Jagger? Carmelo's next landing spot could be in a banana boat? No, it could be in L.A. with his good friend, LeBron James. A report says the Lakers will look to move on from Kyle Kuzma, thank God, and could target Anthony to replace him. Melo will be a free agent this offseason after averaging just over 13 points a game for the Blazers. So, Sel, how interested should the Lakers be in Carmelo Anthony?
Oh, very interested in him. Look at this situation. Look, Kyle Kuzma's been compromised. In perception or reality, Melrose Melrose got him. The new spot on Sunset got him. They just think he ain't as dedicated as he should be. Look at these numbers right here. Shot over 40% from three-point last year. We're talking about Carmelo Anthony. That would have been the only player on the Lakers to do that. 14 games with 20-plus points, fourth on the Lakers. 90% of his free throws, Lakers 28th in the NBA. Yeah, he would have huge impact. Maybe a starter.
Do not mix business with pleasure. LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony is your homeboy. Don't start to play around with your homeboys, because what happens if Carmelo Anthony ain't getting enough time? Sal, who's he going to? He's not going to Frank Vogel. He's knocking on James and LeBron's door. Hey, big dog, you know, I ain't getting, can you talk to coach, you know, for me, big dog? Now LeBron's in a compromised position. Don't do it. Please don't do it.
He already compromised. He looking at Kuzma like, Kuzma, get your hand on it. Have a good weekend, y'all. NASCAR Race Hub is next. You ain't lying.